Hello, team video. Today we're going to take a look at XL Kecleon in the Open Ultra League. This is, I think, a fully XL version. They put like a general paragraph into the description as well when they sent to me on how they got the XL Kecleon, so you don't think that they're cheating. It's definitely possible to get them if you just grind hard enough. I didn't grind hard enough, definitely not. I don't really play the game, to be fair, too much outside nowadays. Mainly because of A, it's winter, and B, the events are not really most interesting, but other people do. So, hey, we will see here in Dragon Breath the version of Giratina. Not the biggest fan in the current meta about this one here. We will see the Pelipper XL, fully XL. I'm a big fan of Pelipper though. And we're going to see the Kecleon, of course. One of the most interesting Pokemon here is we're going to find out what this thing can do in the Ultra League. As we find out that we're going to be able to see a shield here coming up from the MEweedle. Do you let this move go through? You're actually going to let all the shields go through for the Kecleon. Access to Flamethrower and here Foul Play as well. They said that they swap between Flamethrower and the Thunder. So you see like some gameplay with like Thunder. It might be because of that one. But their main reasoning for the Flamethrower was all the Steel types, Registeel plus Cobalion plus Virizion, all of those wouldn't really appreciate this one. Here, horrible lead, but I guess this is why you run the Dragon Breath on Giratina. For exactly this lead here, Dragon Breath Giratina is way better than the one with Shadow Claw, as this is now neutral for you and you will be able to go for some Dragon Claw damage against them, you see already. The matchup against an Obstagoon, if you have Dragon Breath, is actually pretty damn decent. We will see here that the Dragon Claw are going to put them into range where you can farm them even down afterwards. If they want to shield this, it's going to be also fine for you. But I would recommend you to actually, can you survive that? I think you still survived that one. Yeah, you still survived that one. You will be able to go for another charge move, now realigning your Pokemon. We'll see the Swampert coming in and you have the best answer for that one. We see the Pelipper going to town here right now. The opponent's Obstagoon already pretty low as well. Still, the Swampert going to do some pretty decent damage against you here with the Hydro Cannon, even though it's resisted. Hydro Cannon just chunks against any Pokemon. Anyway, it doesn't matter if they're resisted or not. We will see that you can go for one Weather Ball in time. Very good counting. There was one before they get to the next charge move. And this will get the shield from the opponent. Kinda you are also forced to shield, I wanted to say, but you're not. As they go into the Obstagoon, this is amazing for you. I don't know why they did this, because this allows you to now have the Cresselia aligned against your Kecleon. Kecleon access to Lick here. You can also use the move Sucker Punch. It really depends on what you want to run. Lick in general is more often used on Pokemon, like for example Snorlax has Lick, Lickitung has Lick, so you use it more often in the meta. But Sucker Punch also has some play. Basically the difference between those moves is Lick does half a damage more I think per turn, while Sucker Punch does half energy generation more per turn, so like yeah. It's a little bit of a, like depending if you want to have a little bit more energy generation or a little bit more damage. Here both of them are fine, in my opinion they're basically exactly the same, so. We see here actually a sweep from the Kecleon as well, which is funny, as this little fella here going to be able to go ahead and go for the foul play, knocking out the Swampert. And this is going to be a good game. Next opponent, Kecleon against NiRiain. Pretty neutral matchup here. You kind of have to stay in there, seeing your backline there. You kind of want to go for foul play, I would say. You could, I guess, if you had Thunder here, it would have been really nice. You can take two moves. It seems like you're actually going to go for the Flamethrower. I don't know, I guess it goes through, it doesn't really matter too much. I would just go for foul play because I thought you might be able to get to two of them. But maybe I still get to the foul play in time here. You do not, and I think you would have been able to get there with two foul plays. So it's a small misplay there, I would say. As we see the Warren going for one Icicle Spear, as we see the Warren going for another Icicle Spear. Actually, I see a lot of people wanting that Warren getting buffed again. I can understand it for the Great League, I cannot understand it for the Ultra League. This Pokemon is still insane here and I don't really think that the buff of that Pokemon is what we really need again. I feel like that you kinda need to buff other Pokemon in order to balance the current meta again a little bit, or like change the meta. I wouldn't like basically revert the buffs from before. We see the swap here into the Giratina, catching the Flame Charge, very nice for you, as we see a Trevenant coming in. Here of course it would be beneficial for you if you had the Shadow Claw as a fast move, but you can go for one Dragon Claw against the opponent, getting them really low. And you're actually going to let this move go through, and it's going to be a Seed Bomb. Very good call there. If you didn't call this move, I think you would have lost this game. Like this, it's looking pretty decent for you, as you still have your Pelipper around. You can actually knock them out, and you can just shield here to be fair and farm them down, but you're going to let this move go through as well. It's going to be another Flame Charge. They actually still survived that one as well, which is wild. But you can go ahead, go for another charge move here. They're going to shield you up most likely, and you can still get to another one. It'll win this game pretty easily. So far, so good. Kecleon, definitely an interesting Pokemon. Most likely a little bit better in the Ultra League compared to the Great League. But if you think about Kecleon, I feel like I don't really know where you want to run it if you have the Pokemon Furfrou already, which has a little bit better stats as well. Has also Sucker Punch. Yeah, here you're using Lick, which might be a little bit better, but has Sucker Punch, has access to Surf and Grass Knot, which gives you a little bit better coverage as well. So you have already a normal type there. It's not really the Pokemon that you have to hunt for. That's also why I'm not really hunting for that one. But it's still a cool one to take a look at, as the Steelix is going to destroy that Giratina. Steelix is such an insanely bulky Pokemon in the Open Ultra League right now. Very, very strong Pokemon. We see the Psychic Fangs coming through. You will be able to take this one pretty easily, as we see the Crunch coming through now as well. Going to get also the defense drop, kind of unfortunate. You're just sacking basically your Pokemon here. It can still get to one charge move here, which is nice. All the defense drops, kind of annoying, of course. They're going to let this move go through, and you're going to keep this one around, as we see the obstacle coming in here. No shielding the first one, definitely what you want to do, especially if it's an obstruct. That's going to make this all a little bit more awkward now, as the opponent going to do more damage against you over time. You will be able to at least reset the debuff later on, maybe with your Kecleon, as they go for another obstruct. This is going to be annoying. You will see the Hurricane, very risky move. Do they shield this move up? They do shield this move up, as is kind of expected there, because they want to buff themselves up even more with obstruct here right now. And now they go for Night Slash, so exactly the time where you don't call it, they're gonna go for it. Kinda annoying, but still good game there. Next opponent, we will see the Kecleon against the Primarina. It's here definitely where you went for Thunder later on, because against those Pokemon as well, Thunder would have been very nice. We saw a lot of matchups prior already where Thunder would have been very nice. And against Primarina, you kinda are forced to do some damage with your Lick already before, so you can get them low enough. Now you're kinda forced to throw some moves with your Pelipper as well. As we see Crobat coming in. Really hope that they kind of buff Crobat somehow again. Give it just Wing Attack, I think, and it would be fine. Like, just make it a a Golbat clone. Would make this Pokemon so much more interesting if it just got a Wing Attack, and maybe even a better charge move there. But yeah, sadly right now, Air Slash is just not the way. Maybe we get a community day for it, where you get a Wing Attack plus maybe some signature, maybe Flying type move. Maybe it just gets Fly as a secondary charge move as well. That would be amazing. Fly is something that like basically has only, I think, Pikachu with like the special Pikachu has the move. I think that was basically it. Fly is a very strong charge move for like flying types in general. It would be cool if like we see more Pokemon getting this one, as we're going to see here getting Swampert with a Dragonclaw there. That's going to hurt them a lot, and you're actually going to put them into Ranch Rake and just farm them all the way. They're going to go for one Hydrokin. I think you might have been even able to survive this one. We see here another one coming through, which you're going to be able to survive already, as said before. You will be able to go for another charge move here, and this is going to be a very good game here, as the opponent going to get farmed down by Lick damage from this nice XL Kecleon here. Next opponent, we will see a Swampert against you. You're going to stop out, of course, as you have two good answers there. Matchup against Snorlax now is actually pretty decent, unless they're running Earthquake here, which is very unlikely. Your matchup with the Giratina is actually way better than before, just because you have Dragon Breath instead. And you have better charge moves than the opponent, which is the main issue before for Snorlax. Let's see, do they have Superpower, do they have Body Slam? They have Earthquake actually. That's going to be a little bit tricky, but you're still going to be able to reach another charge move here, forcing a shield or the switch alignment, and you're going to be able to align your Pokemon, which is amazing, because we see the Swampert coming back in here, and we know that we're going to have a Pelipper in the back, which completely hardwalls this Pokemon, and this might be the way to go. Let's see what they're going to have in the back then. They're actually going to throw a charge move here, which is wild, as this is of course resisted, and you can go ahead, go for one more charge move. Water Ball coming through here, going to do some nice damage, as we see as well the swap in again against into the Kecleon. We see a very interesting pick here with the Dragonite. Don't know how you are supposed to win this game now. We see the Thunder now though. We can see that you can go for the Thunder, definitely the right play. And we see that you're going to get the shield there, but you have to get them very low basically. You have to shield this move up for sure. But I think you have to try to KO them, like try to get the bait here with the Weather Ball exactly. You're most likely going to have to shield once more, but you have to try to... Oh, actually, you can knock them out. That's amazing. Now you just need to get to 2 Weather Balls, and I think you're going to be able to do that. Let's see, Hydrocan coming through. I think you might even... Oh, we have to see if you can still survive this one. It's going to be such a close one. Hydrocan coming through, and it's going to knock you out. That is so unfortunate. Pelipper sadly doesn't have the bulk that you might expect it to have, basically, in this current league, but... Still very cool Pokemon here, sadly loses against the Swampert, which is wild. But yeah, Swampert Hydro Cannon is more something that I would nerf. In general, what I would really love to see, but I don't think they're going to do it before the next world's going to come around, would be a complete change for the move updates in general. Like something that everything got like, I don't know, a little bit less energy generation, a little bit more damage or whatever. Like something that's like really changes from the core of the game. Like something like, for example, Mudshot going from 4.5 energy per turn to 4 energy, same with like Psycho Cut, and all those like fast moves basically getting a little bit more of a rebalance. Would be an interesting one, because right now it's like everybody who has like counter is pretty decent, everybody who has like Mudshot is pretty decent. It's kind of always the same there. So I wish that there was maybe some kind of rebalancing of fast moves coming through, but right now we don't have this. But what we do have is a Gliscor against us. As we see the Night Slash coming through, we will be able to go for another charge move against these Scrafty, knocking them straight out with this Weather Ball, and you can swap out into your Kecleon now, as you knocked out basically the biggest threat. And we see actually the Trevenant. Finally, we can lock in a Ghost type against our Kecleon here. This Seed Bomb does not do a lot of damage, and we see that they're gonna go for one Foul Play. I don't think this actually knocks them out yet, but you're still going to be able to lick them down afterwards, so that's fine for you, as you're going to let this move go through from the opponent. We see the Gliscor coming in, and Kecleon is just able to destroy the opponent. Very good game there. Next opponent, we will see another Kecleon answer there in the lead with the Talonflame. You can go for one Thunder though, but you're going to try to catch the move here. Very nice catch on to your Giratina, forcing them to swap out into the Walrein. You have Ancient Power. Ancient Power against Walrein does around like 40%, which is wild. Like that's going to do a ton of damage, as you're going to see here, which is going to put them into range as well, where you might farm them down later on, but sadly, yeah, you're going to be able to put them into the yellow health. Could have maybe went for the Dragon Claw there, but I think it was CMP tie anyway, so it wouldn't have really mattered. You have to go for one Foul Play after keeping this one move, I think here. This is your only play to try to knock them out. We see the Foul Play coming through now. Might still be close to actually knock out the opponent. Let's see, it's going to, okay. But yeah, you're going to see the Talonflame coming back in here. They're going to go up to a one charge move here. That could be a Brave Bird. You have to shield this. It's going to be the Brave Bird as well. And we see that they're going to swap in, stay in here, and you can just go ahead, go for one Weather Ball, which would knock them out. They're going to shield this move up. You can go for another one in time. Very good move counting there as well. Always going for 2 in every Incinerate is perfect alignment there. And we see also in general perfect alignment here with the Swampert against you. Just leaving the shield here is a very good strategy. You can just go ahead, go for one charge move here. Swap out now, I would say. Or stay in. I was stopped out already before you trying to catch the move there. You had a move stalled already, so like you would have been able to knock them out immediately, which I think would have been better. But like this, you can go ahead, go for another charge move. And this game is anyway very, very safe to win. As we see here, the opponent's Talonflame coming in, you can shield once. And yeah, that's going to be it for this game here as well, as you will be able to hit this one as well with the Weather Ball there and knocking them straight out. Next opponent, Trevenant lead. Very good, locking in the Ghost type again, and we will see that they're going to stay in here for a little bit and now go into the Obstagoon. I guess if they boost here, it might be a little bit of a tricky one, but otherwise this matchup is very good for you. Also a shiny Obstagoon, which is always cool to see. But we see actually going straight here for the Hurricane, going to get the damage on the opponent as well, putting them into range, where he can just go for one Weather Ball now, as he can take those charge moves, but the opponent actually has the option to now realign. If they want to, they can shield up the charge move here, but they don't want to, which is good for you, because you can align your Pokemon again. But if they want to, they would have been able to basically shield up the move there and would have been able to realign, which is weird that they didn't do that, but we see now the opponent going to a Walrein. Do you survive this? Do you want to let this move go through? You're going to let this move go through. You're going to go for the Thunder. If this hits, that would be a wild, but I don't think so. Yeah, it doesn't. And I think that's going to be a loss. But they are range basically for one Ancient Power though. So maybe they still have a 1 chance there, but I don't think it really is a chance. You might want to bait here. You're going to bait here. Fine play. Definitely something that they're going to shield. Yeah, exactly. And you put them into range actually nearly for Dragon Claw already, which is funny. But now we will see here the Trevenant coming back in here, and there's not a lot that you can do about this. It's going to be a good game. There is sadly nothing that you can do here, as this Shadow Ball going to knock you straight out of there. And you don't really have the energy anymore on your Kecleon here. You're still going to be able to knock out the Trevenant, but the Walrein will be too much, as the U going to go down here. I think this might be the final game now coming up. Another Trevenant in the lead, very good for you. as well as you can go ahead and go for one foul play. They're going to stay in here, which is nice, and you will be able to go for the super effective charge move and fast move here with a lick and foul play to hopefully threaten some health and maybe even get some shields here. We will see that you can just knock them straight out of there. They didn't want to shield today, they just keep the shield for next time. We've seen Excadrill coming in. This is basically a cheap version of the Galarian Stunfisk, sadly not as viable anymore, but a very fun Pokemon to use for the Ultra League. Actually, I want build as well. You're going to get knocked out by them, and we see now the Giratina going to not appreciate this drill run either. It's like this Pokemon just does so much damage, as we see a Warring coming in and back there. That might be a little bit tricky, but this Ancient Power gonna get the shield, and you get the swap perfectly into the Warring, which can take this Icicle Spear pretty damn easily. And you have to go for a Hurricane though in order to knock them out. You might want to shield this, and you're going to shield it. Do you go straight for the Hurricane, or do you go for the bait here? Let's see. We're going to see the Hurricane coming through. I think it was a Team P-Tai as well here. Very well played so far, and we see the knockout straight away as the Excadrill comes back in. This game going to be over already. So yeah, very cool showcase here for the Kecleon. Very cool Pokemon in general. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, as we see this Excadrill going to go down here from this Pelipper. And yeah, that's going to be it for the video. Hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next one, and have a great rest of your day. Bye!